Hello my sweets, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we're going to learn to draw a chibi boy doing a running pose. And this pose can actually be adapted to be a chibi girl since there are not very many differences between chibi boys and girls. So let's get started. So he's going to be running over in this direction, so I'm going to just do a slanted line for his height indicator. You've seen me draw these before and possibly in other illustrations where we have a line with two horizontal lines so that we know how big our character is going to be, and we're going to try and fit it all into this position. This is a good tip to use when you're drawing comic books or something because you need to be sure that your characters are going to fit into the panel or the scene. Okay, let's now do 3 circles. They will be going down this line, so they will not be stacked up right on top of each other. Just draw the circles so that you can fit about 3 in. They can overlap a little bit. So as you can see, we've got the circles tilted a bit along with this line, and I'm going to clean them up just slightly. This one should be going a bit further back. Okay, now that it looks like a sort of saggy snowman, we can continue and start by erasing inside of this circle so that we can add the details of the face. He will also be looking in the direction that he's running because he doesn't want to trip and fall over anything. So draw a curved line along the circle, angling to our right. And this is the dividing line for his face. So if he had a nose, it would be put right about here on the center line. Okay, now we will divide it, not quite in half. This is about 1/3. So do another curved line about 1/3 here and make sure it follows the curve of the circle. Like how this bottom one curves, do one that curves just slightly less so that it looks 3D. Like how if we had lines up here, they would gradually change until we got down here. Anyways, yeah, just keep it 3D. I shall erase these lines and then continue. At this dividing line, we will add a curve on the outside. This is his cheek. Now on this side, we will have a halfway point and then another halfway between these two. Then we can erase this. So basically we just put a line 1/4 of the way through the head here, and at this point we will carve out some of the face. You see, we've brought this line up to meet a little higher up here, and we will erase the head until we reach that point and then connect it again. This is the place where the jaw connects to the skull and where the ear will be. So even on a chibi, we want to have that little touch of realism. Clean up the drawing before you continue. Okay, now we can add the ear. I can also erase this line and a whole lot of this one. Now we can add the ear, which is like a teardrop shape. You can actually get away with very large ears on chibis and it looks kind of cute, whereas a large nose wouldn't look quite as cute. Noses are usually avoided on chibis. Okay, he won't be looking down though, so let's quickly adjust this. We need this little boy to be looking up excitedly. So just by changing this line, now he's looking up. And we needed to do that because this will help us place the eyes later, and we don't want him to be looking down when we do that. Okay, now you see this curve of the circle here? We're going to use this to place his right arm. And this one won't really be helpful with placing the left arm, but it will help us do his body. So Find what seems to be the center point of the head, which is not this line, it's just a little bit over here. This is where the neck would attach. So just draw the neck, a little cylinder, and then we'll connect it to the torso by drawing the torso in. So just like draw this big oval shape here, attaching to the shoulders, and we can adjust this later. So divide it down the center so that we know that it's also angled in this direction, and I'll add some circles for the shoulders. Alright, divide the body in half now. So we know that the waist is around this point, and we can erase this and this. So it's like a little bean with a head. Darken this line in the front. It should curve out some, like he's got a pudgy little belly. And whereas the back should angle in slightly at the shoulder before curving back out at the waist. We can now erase this line back here. Okay, near the bottom of this bean, or even at the bottom, depending on how large you made it, we can draw a triangle so we know where to attach his legs. If you've seen my other chibi videos, you know where this is going now. So let's curve this a little bit. Just to make it look a little cleaner. Alright, so now we can do the arms. Draw a circle right here, and this is his fist. He's running with closed fists like this. And up close to his chin, we will draw a small line that curves around and meets at the middle of the circle. And this is his thumb. We can now erase this a little bit. Just let it be a little bit visible so that you can follow the line and add arms. Don't make this forearm part meet with the fist. We want to do a little bit of a layered look, which means we will have the rest of the arm attached like that. Alright, this arm will be following the curve of this circle here. So we've got the upper arm, and then it bends down and almost meets the hip here. We can now erase this circle. And this is also in a fist. So you'll draw a circle, and then right before you have it meet at the wrist here, you'll have it come up in a straight line, and then bring the other side of the circle in to meet here. And you can even add some slight squiggly lines at the bottom for his fingers. You can do the same over here if you want. Chibi hands are very easy to do. You don't have to add a lot of detail. Alright, now for the part of this picture, now for the part of the body that will really make this picture, the running legs. So one of them will be coming straight down here, while the other one will be up and bent like this. You really want to get the angle of the legs right so that he doesn't look like he's skipping along or about to trip. So the most dynamic pose is with one leg straight out here and the other one tucked up underneath his body. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to mark the halfway point on this leg so that we know where the knee will be, and then we will just draw from the body to the knee here and connect. It should taper a little bit as it goes down, but not too much. This leg is even easier. We just draw a rounded shape on this line, and then we can erase. We can also erase this circle and this one. It's really coming together now. Okay, now for the lower leg. It also tapers. It gets very thin at the bottom, and it should definitely be following the curve of the inner thigh here and go way back. but it looks a little bit thin and unnatural. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the curve of the calf muscle out here before it tapers. And then, to show that it's firmly planted on the ground, we will draw out a horizontal line here before it comes down, and then a little hook for the toes. And there we go, his foot is now firmly planted on the ground as he runs forward. There's just a little bit more to do on this leg. I want to adjust the angle slightly. And then what you can do to add a little bit more 3D is draw another line down here. This will be his lower leg, and then his foot will be just a little hook here. It's like a half oval, a little pill shape. Okay, this chibi boy is now ready to dash across the finish line, except for the minor details of his face. He can't really dash across the finish line if he doesn't have eyes to see where he's going, so let's draw in the eyes. I'm just going to lighten these guidelines a little so that we can draw over them and still see what we're doing. So, chibi eyes should be on the lower part of the face, leaving a big forehead for a youthful look. So even though he's looking up, we're still going to have a whole lot of forehead space here. Draw big circles, well, one big circle on this larger side, and on the other side, foreshortening makes the eye appear smaller and thinner. These circles will encompass the entirety of the eyes, which means the outside will be the eyelids or eyelashes, and we can put the irises and pupils and everything inside. And now we can erase these guidelines. So let's darken the eyelids here. Then erase a little bit of this before we put the irises in. They should not be touching the eyelid unless you want your character to look kind of sleepy. When the irises are just all by themselves in the seat, that makes your character look really energetic, like the eyes are really wide. Don't forget to have this eye thinner than the other one. And now we can erase this bottom part. We can even add lower lashes. I'm not quite satisfied with this eye. That happens a lot with me, so I'm just going to make some quick changes to it myself. Okay, now let's give him a big smile. And eyebrows. For boy characters, the eyebrows are usually angled down just slightly. It makes them look a little bit aggressive and therefore manly, which is important when you're drawing them in chibi form, since they look very childish and it's very easy to mistake them for females if you don't, give them gender neutral clothing or something. So let's do the ears. It's like sort of like an S shape or a 2, a backwards S or a 2. And I'm just going to do some detail on the eyes. You might have seen this technique before. It's an oval in the upper left corner, and then divide the eyes in half with a curved line, curving upward, concave lens sort of thing, and then darken that in. I'm also going to darken his mouth just a little. And that is how to draw a running chibi pose and how to draw a boy chibi. So I hope this video was helpful to you, sweets. Thank you for requesting it. I'm still open for tutorial requests, so just leave your ideas in the comments and I will put it on my request list. Don't forget to be a sweet and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my new videos. I will see you sweets later. Bye!